You have a story to tell. You have a story to tell. You have something to share. Your voice is powerful. How often are you in your thoughts? How often do you go through ideas and think and imagine and it stays there? And I want to let you know, you're not your thoughts. And your thoughts are different from your voice. Your thoughts up here are different than what is in here and in here. And through speaking comes the wisdom, because you're not thinking, you're not filtering, you're not analyzing, you are allowing. And that is what I'm doing, and I have a story to share. So take a seat, grab a cup of tea or coffee or water, get comfy. So in 2014, I worked for an organization, nonprofit called Catholic Charities. I was a therapist on a residential treatment unit working with all boys ages around 6 to 13 with very significant trauma histories. They were not safe enough to be out in the community, to live in their homes, to go to regular public school. They often came from hospitalization, psychiatric inpatient units. Sometimes I talk fast as I'm channeling and sharing and storytelling, so let me slow down. And so I was straight out of grad school. Maybe I had been working there about a year, and I was hired as a therapist on the unit to work with these boys who were in long-term residential treatment in hopes of stabilization. I was there to help them with their conduct-based behaviors, with managing their emotions, processing their trauma, but they were little. And so when people asked me, what did you do with them? What were sessions like? How did you conduct your sessions with them? It's like, I played, we connected. We focused on the therapeutic foundation, or the therapeutic relationship as the foundation. They were struggling. They had significant behaviors that often led them to be restrained, that often led them to be 24 hours supervised because maybe there was homicidal and suicidal ideation, a lot of aggression, nightmares, bedwetting. It was tough. They really wanted and needed to be loved. And so did I. I wanted and needed to be loved too. And I didn't go into this field to seek love and earn love. I just know that my love is created and grows through these connections and through these relationships. I've always had a love for children and followed that passion, which then led me to leave eventually residential treatment because the system broke me. The system is broken, and the system led me to burnout. Not those children, but the systems. And as I left there and worked in community outpatient mental health in schools, and then into private practices or small group practices, eventually coming into the recognition of the value of the mind-body connection, the mind-body work, this somatic approach, and the impact that I made just by connecting. So going back, 2014, I was asked and nominated to join the Mission Integration Committee as a part of Catholic Charities. And I was honored, though didn't really know why me, being 23, 24 years old, was the one asked to be in this community or this committee. I was told that my reputation preceded me, not fully knowing what that even meant. But we were asked one day as a part of this committee to write a story and then to share it, and to share the story about our job. And so most people, when I got there on the day to share my story, to get up on the podium and to read it, maybe in front of like 20 people at the time, as I listened to the people before me, their stories was all about their role, their responsibility, the work that they did. And they were different people, not everybody was a therapist. My story was about a boy on my unit. We'll call him Charlie. Charlie was about 11 or 12 at the time. Charlie was the longest, had been there the longest, over 2 years, residential treatment. Mother was mentally unstable, didn't visit very often. She lived about an hour away, didn't have transportation. He experienced a lot of neglect and abuse, His father was nowhere to be found, and there was really no, what is it considered, discharge plan, coordination of care of what the plan was for him, aside from being in foster care, and maybe there would be a foster family that wanted him. Can you imagine these young kids not feeling wanted? And so again, my focus was not on, we're going to make you or lead you to behave and comply and to follow the rules and to be a good boy. My focus was on the connection. My focus was being present. So when we met, we would play games, and he enjoyed playing pretend with dolls, and we would do scavenger hunts, and we would go outside, and we would get tea and hot chocolate. And one day I got a call from his social worker that said, "Amanda, we found his father." And his father had no idea that he even had a son, that this kid, Charlie, even existed. And so then the plan changed in an instant. It became about reuniting him with his dad, getting to know his dad, making sure that his dad was stable and a safe place for Charlie to maybe go home to. And his dad wanted him. His dad was married, his dad had other children, and his dad came weekly, met with me, met with Charlie. And eventually, Charlie got to leave. And that is something that did not exist before that moment. You are meant to create what does not exist yet. And it's been 11 years since I'd seen Charlie. But we've reconnected. He's in college. And I in no way take any of that recognition or responsibility that was me. I was a part of it. I was a part of that. And that's what I say, we are co-creators, because we co-create things that do not exist with so many moving pieces as to like what led all of a sudden to that social worker finding his dad. They had to do DNA testing, and that his father was still local and had a stable home environment. And I wrote that story for the Mission Integration Committee, and I read it. And then the CEO, the head of Catholic Charities, reached out and wanted to read that story at the annual dinner in front of hundreds of people. And of course, I said yes. Yes, read my story. Because stories matter. Your voice matters. They touch lives. And I had no idea that story was going to move people. That story was going to stay with me. And the funny part is, I didn't go. I didn't go to that dinner. I resisted the appreciation. I resisted receiving the recognition. I didn't want to be in the spotlight. No, I can't be in the spotlight. Like, fine, read my story, but I won't be there. And I didn't even realize I was doing that at the time. I don't feel like going. I don't want to go. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm fearful. I'm fearful of my own greatness. I'm fearful of my own voice. I'm fearful of my own power. That was me for a long time. But it's not just me. It's not just me that's coming through these words, written or spoken, shared and expressed. It is a power. It is an energy. It is meant to evolve us. It is meant to touch lives and touch hearts and bring us into community for those that have shared beliefs. You have something to say, and you deserve to be seen and to receive whatever comes from it. The compliment, the praise, the recognition. It is not validation. Get away from the need for validation, for someone to say, you look pretty today. I like what you're wearing. I love your hair. Or thank you for that. Or you're a great speaker. Or you amaze me, like I say. I don't say that to validate people. I don't say that just to feel good in myself. I say that to offer because you deserve to receive. So when they tell you that you have a light that shines, that you influenced them in a positive way, it is not for validation or assurance. It is to receive, because there's so much abundance, there's so much out there, there's so much bigger than that which we even can conceptualize. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go for it? Why wouldn't you turn on the camera and start talking and see what comes out? You have a story to share, you have something to express, and you have something to create. You have multiple things to create that do not exist. 3 months ago, I started an online course and community called Alchemize. I had no idea where it was coming from, but something in me said, Amanda, you can do this. Offer your somatic work, offer meditations, offer channel messages, offer the tarot readings. Put it out there and invite people to join, to be here together, because we are so similar. We are walking similar paths if you're here and still listening. And to connect with the gifts and talents and abilities that are natural within you, that are beyond the constructs. Go ahead and break up with the old. Break up with the limitations. Break up with your fear, your stress, your anxiety, the complications, that I need to do this and work a certain way and wake up at a certain time and be polite. Whatever it is that your mind tells you is right versus what your heart tells you is aligned, is authentic, is true for you. Take the time to witness yourself first, and others will witness you, and others will connect with you, and you will receive so much more than you can even imagine. Though you need to take that aligned step. It's not just vision boards and writing down your manifestations. It is taking new, different actions to break the cycle. Share your story. You amaze me.